The real cost of buying a home in Pitt County, North Carolina, and everything that you need to know before you move to the area.
Now, if you are relocating here, there is things we need to talk about. And if you need to sell your home, we're happy to talk about that. Or are you looking to just buy your first home? But it's exciting that you're going to take this first step. And we really want to just kind of walk you through all the steps and the financial surprises that can come if you're not prepared. So that is what this is about. Just making sure you have all your expenses covered, so you know all the potential expenses even, to making sure that your relocation journey to Pitt County is super smooth.
Before we wanted to start really the journey is before making any offer on the house, you need to actually consider a couple things that is super important. The first thing is travel expenses, which if you are relocating from...
Because not everybody is like us, where we just clicked a home on the internet and said, we want to buy that one, which is weird, right? Most people are not that extreme. Most people are going to come here.
Exactly. Therefore, if you're relocating from far distance, and you need to make sure that the budget of the cost of the airfare, hotel, and where you are staying, and rentals if you want to rent a car to go around and look at the homes, and also meals while they're house hunting to consider as the first expenses.
So, and of course with gas, just to add that too, and I would add a little bit extra for gas, because if there's something you want to see 2 or 3 times, that's going to just continue going. But you definitely have to actually like what you're looking to. Now, we found the home in this hypothetical situation. We are so excited you have bought this house. And now let's talk about before we close, we're going to have a couple things to talk about. Like, number one, I would recommend a home inspection. Home inspections are going to save you significant money down the road, because you know what's happening. I know in North Carolina we have this due diligence fee where you have to pay money up front, but that is part of the contract. Home inspections are after we have under contract. I would recommend understanding what is going on with this house in full. Get a general home inspection. Maybe you want to get pool, roof, HVAC inspections. Maybe you want to get termite and pest inspection, which I also highly recommend. And if there is a septic, we definitely need to talk about a septic inspection. Maybe if you want to do a sewer scope, maybe it's on a well, which isn't too many houses around here, but there's some, and maybe you want to get a well inspection there.
Therefore, these expenses depend on the square footage of your house. The bigger house, the more money you need to pay. The next one definitely is, beside of the inspection, making sure that you're selecting the right inspectors
and the right inspections.
And inspection, which depends on your specific property. And we are here to really guide you to really ensure to spend wisely money and do the essential inspection that really needed to be done.
And here's a tip. We get no money from any inspectors. No inspectors give us money or tips or feedback or anything like that. So every list that is on there is because we've used them before, not because of anything else. We've used them before, but there's no kickbacks, there's no extra money for someone on our list. I just want to throw that out there.
Exactly. The next thing is the earnest money deposit, which again is known as a good faith money deposit that show that you have the sincere intention to purchase a home in the area. However, the past couple years is rarely people putting the earnest money, not like the other states around in the United States. Therefore, what is really important in our area, in Pitt County area, is really that due diligence, the money that takes the house under the contract or pending that on the and this money directly is gonna go deposit in the seller's account. And then for any reason, if you change your mind or you didn't like the inspection, this money is not going to return back to you.
Yeah, unless there's some significant lies and there's some arguments to be made, but generally speaking, sellers keeping that money. Now, the other thing we'll talk about that people always forget is the lender fees and the interest on that mortgage. So mortgage-related expenses will be pulling your credit report. It's not $25 anymore. It's more expensive than that. Wire transfer fees from a bank, the commissions to the lenders, the appraisals from the lenders to buy the house, and any interest payments you have to make in order there. Now, we do have a list of lenders as well. Again, these are all people. We get no kickbacks here either. We are just talking about people we have seen who have worked hard and gotten these homes for these people.
Therefore, if you really need to get a loan, you need to make sure that you at least compare two lenders, make sure that all these fees that this lender have, including the origination fee, with some lenders they use 1%, some lenders 2%, some lenders have a basically basic fix. And you need to make sure that you're aware of all that you can compare. That's why you need to always ask any lender to run a loan estimate for you, because this way you are aware of all the costs that is associated with that loans.
The next thing we're going to talk about is, of course, when we buy the home, we have to go to an attorney in North Carolina. We don't have title companies, we have attorneys, so we have to talk about those attorneys. Professional attorneys help us transfer the ownership, make sure that the property is actually on the deed. They're taking care of the HOA fees, they're taking the insurance, they're taking care of all the mortgage fees, they're dealing with the mortgage, they're also dealing with the actual deeds in and of itself and doing that title search. So it's all done by attorneys here. So we would recommend making sure we talk to attorneys.
Which most of the attorneys in Pitt County, North Carolina, they have a very similar fee. And that's not something that's going to be super different from different places.
But we can tell you the ones that we prefer as well as many. But again, this is just because of work and history, not because we get money.
Exactly. Now, what is the next thing?
Utilities. Utilities is important. You need to know what your water, how much are the deposits for the water, because every place is different. And small cities tend to have a deposit there. So you have to know what the utilities are, the electric, the gas, the water, and understand what that is. What's next?
And then the water that we have is Bell Arthur, Eastern Pine, and Greenville utility. Therefore, it depends on the area that you have, and then sewer also could be different, could be Greenville or other. The next one that we wanted to talk about is the homeowner insurances.
Yeah.
And the homeowner's insurances, actually you need to shop. That is the only thing that you have a control over on your loan, because every year you can shop for that homeowner's insurance, get the best quote. You can use the same company that you're using. Therefore, you need to be aware of that, because every time, annually, this number is going to change.
Now, taxes. Budget for those sales taxes as well, and prorated property taxes. Now, property taxes are something that don't change year over year. They change every couple years around here, but you need to know what they are before we buy, because every home is in a different area, might be in a different tax bracket because of that area. So let's just pay attention to what those taxes are on the homes we like.
Exactly. The next thing is the optional, which is the home warranty. This is also optional because it protects you from the substantial unexpected cost if your major home system or appliances fails. And that is, again, something that sometimes when we put an offer, we ask the seller to give us that. In some way is going to protect you. Sometimes if you are interested, after you purchase your home, you can actually apply and get the home warranty for your own house to protect yourself.
Another thing to be wary of that's not optional is bank fees. Now, maybe you can get a free one from your bank, which is possible, but you have to talk to the bank and understand what your fees are for the cashier's check, for the wire, in order to buy the home.
Exactly. Therefore, this is all is going to be instructed by the attorneys, closing attorneys that do all this paperwork for us in Pitt County, North Carolina, and your lender, and you need to make sure that what is the cost is associated with that. The next one, which is overlooked always, is the moving costs. Moving costs including the packing your material, movers, rental trucks, a storage unit, and pizza helpers.
Yeah.
That's what
or
my
donuts. Or donuts.
This is one of the expenses that always been overlooked as expensive, and definitely we have a guide for that you can also grab in our description. And we have
a couple more things to talk about, like post-closing. So you've just bought this home, you love it, it's amazing, but we walked into this with no blinders on. So you know what repairs need to be made, especially with that inspection report that you have in your hand. So have a plan to financially address whatever needs addressing that is immediate, and also have a plan for what is going to be down the line, important, so you can take care of things as they come, but in an orderly fashion. What else? And
the next one is the transitory accommodation. What is that?
Basically, if you're moving from one state to another, or you sold your house on Tuesday and you can't buy the next house till Wednesday, well, where are you going to stay? Maybe you don't have a daughter's couch to sleep on. Maybe you need to, get a hotel.
Exactly. Therefore, those living expenses also is one of the things that you need to take to the consideration. And the last thing that we wanted to talk before other details that we're gonna get here is the improvement and upgrades. That's why you do that home inspection, because you understand what part of the home really has
and that's
potential.
not improvement. Improvement is when you want to make this be like, for instance, I want to change my rugs into floors. Like that's an improvement to my house. Change my lighting. That's an improvement. So you walk in knowing you have that plan, but also have a budget for it.
Exactly. And what is the next thing that we want to talk?
Basically, you want to plan your budget accordingly. I would say all of those costs can add up. Make sure that it doesn't add up to over 10% of the purchase price, because it's just money that's coming out of your pocket. So you want to make sure that you are keeping this in mind, and that is why we made this video for you, because you deserve to have, understanding on your time, and that way you're smoothly getting to the closing table with us.
Exactly. Therefore, we really need to connect with us, Alan Victoria Pinder. We are here because we wanted to make sure that if you're moving smoothly without any stress, and that's why we are here to help you. And grab an appointment with us on the Zoom, and then Google Meet.
Yeah.
And then don't forget to talk to us here at 252-327-3357, and make sure that you subscribe in our channel and watching all of our playlists, and see you next time.